Shalom, shalom, family, and welcome back. This is Brother Maurice. In the last video, we talked about prayer, and we talked about and showed scripture and how we are supposed to pray for the people that do wickedly. But our prayers are not to harm anyone. The prayers are used to help people, to help to bring the people into light. And because the Father is restoring us with all of this information to understand Him and understand His ways so that we can understand how we are to conduct ourselves, now it's time to look at some of the things that they've done in the Scripture to steer us away from the truth. Because I remember my days when I first woke up and started waking up into the truth. And I too used to pray some of these wicked prayers that we see in the Bible. Now let's take a look at one of these prayers. And we're going to see how far this prayer is from the things that we're supposed to be doing. This prayer, they said that David prayed this prayer. Family, that's a lie. David did not pray this prayer. And I'm going to read it. This is from Psalms 109, starting at verse number 1. It says, "Hold not thy peace, O God of my praise, for the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. They compassed me about also with words of hatred, and fought against me without a cause. For my love, they are my adversaries, but I give myself unto prayer. And they have rewarded me evil for good, and hatred for my love." Now it's going to go into the part where he begins to pray. Now listen to the words of this prayer. It says, "Set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. When he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin. Let his days be few, and let another take his office. Let his children be fatherless, and his wife a widow. Let his children be continually vagabonds, and beg. Let them seek their bread also out of their detestable places. Let the extortioner catch all that he hath, and let the stranger spoil his labor. Let there be none to extend mercy to him. Let there be any to favor his fatherless children. Let his posterity be cut off, and in a generation following, let their name be blotted out. Let the iniquity of his father be remembered with the Lord, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Let them be before the Lord continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth." And I'm just going to stop right there. Now that we understand the truth, we can see how wicked this prayer was. But they said that David prayed this prayer. Family, that's not true. Now, let's get some understanding, because there's some things that we need to know. Let's go to the book of remembrance of Enoch in a chapter called Seth 1, verse number 78. It says, "And both the righteous and the wicked had the view that they would each perish if they did not have their God to walk beside them. And one used their God to establish peace and tranquility." Did you hear that? "And the other to pursue violence and vengeance and the satisfaction of possessions." Now, family, you hear this? So which God are you following? Let me repeat this again. and one used their God to establish peace and tranquility. Peace and tranquility. And the other used their God to pursue violence and vengeance and the satisfaction of possessions. And the righteous sought only to always stand clean before their God. But the wicked corrupted themselves with blood and carnal desires. So now we can see there are two gods that the people are using. But in the Bible, they gave us many things that we see based on the God of wicked, the God of violence, the God of vengeance. That's Satan. That is not the Father. But this is what they gave us in the scriptures. Because remember, Satan deceived the whole world. Now let's go to the book of remembrance of Enoch in Seth 5. And let's take a look at verse number 14. It says, "How is it, O Lord, that man first began to conceive you as God?" And the Lord said, "It was not until the 7th generation, just before your day, that man began to view me as God. And such a view of me first sprang up." Let me read this again. "And such a view of me first sprang up among the wicked. For they desired in their wickedness that the one whom they worshipped should be all-powerful and almighty, so that by him they could destroy their enemies. And they wanted their God to be and act like a supreme ruler who could command others so that all should obey him with fear and trembling. And they wanted this so that they could extend their powers over their fellows. And the wicked all moved together in one movement in their desires towards the idea of a God who could be looked upon as having the power to exact vengeance, and one who could threaten others with the fear of suffering. And they cleaved unto one who would punish severely if he was not obeyed. And they did this because they wanted to use their God to overpower and subdue their enemies and to control their people. I thank the Father for these books of remembrance because they're shedding so much light. Because the Father says that he's loving kindness. And if he's loving kindness, how could he do all these things? How could he have all these killings and everything take place? We're going to come back and we're going to look at some more truth in the next video. I pray, family, you're able to receive this message. I love you, family.